The following program is meant for mature audiences only.
Watch your fucking kids!
You have been warned.
Welcome back to Beards on Gaming. How are you today, Mark?
Something quarantine.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? I was just thinking about that because I had really nothing else. That I honestly may have made that joke last week.
Yes, you made it for the past 3 weeks.
Have I? Oh, well, God. Time has no meaning.
Oh, jeez. So, how you doing with the Black Death? No, sorry, Black Rose. Black Rose. I wanted to go Final Fantasy. I ended up going actual history.
You went kind of raw there.
Oh, they're similar in name and function.
Anywho.
Yeah, how you doing with the Black Rose?
I'm doing fine with the Black Rose. Somehow I'm surviving.
Oh, speaking of which, I know I didn't say this beforehand, but we actually can't say the name of the thing.
We cannot say the name of the disease currently ravaging our country.
Yeah, believe it or not, no YouTuber to keep monetization. We don't do monetization, so I guess we could if we wanted to. But YouTubers have tried to find other ways to talk about what's going on because YouTube refuses to let them talk about what's going on.
That is patently fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, so Game Grumps have taken to calling it the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. Like, you gotta be careful with these Backstreet Boys fans. You never know what, and one of them might have reunion tour tickets in their back pocket.
Oh, this is ridiculous. This is that. I was about to say you'd think that they would understand that doesn't stop people. It just gets them more ridiculous ways to get around it and makes you look like an idiot.
Oh yeah.
Then again, this is YouTube.
People,
this is YouTube.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say this is YouTube's corporate marketing body. They have been out of touch for a long, long time.
People that have been doing interviews on Final Fantasy 11 and the updates of what's going on with that. Not 11, sorry, 14, excuse me.
Yes.
Have been blatantly just calling it the Black Rose. In every single interview. Even Yoshi just calls it Black Rose every single time. He never calls it by name.
That is fun.
Because he's well aware that, if they're ever going to put this on YouTube or anything, they cannot say the name of the thing.
So I better get people up to speed right now.
Yeah, right. Plus, it's funny.
It's funnier knowing it's funnier knowing it. The backstory behind why you're not saying it. That's great.
Yeah. I was a Backstreet Boys fan growing up, and I just gotta stay away from it now.
Once you're I did hear once you're a Backstreet Boy once, you never become a fan again.
Oh, this joke is stupid.
I heard that one of the worst things about it is that when you're a Backstreet Boys fan, you just feel this weight in your chest.
Oh my God, no!
You can't stop me, David. Anywho, I stopped my own volition.
I was about to say "Ain't no lie, bye bye bye," but that's in sync.
It's tough to tell sometimes.
No, for a weird reason, growing up, I always hated NSYNC. Strictly because of the reason why I love Backstreet Boys, but NSYNC wasn't bad. NSYNC was pretty good. I mean, if you like boy bands, which I do.
You dislike them because they were the other guys?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
I was a stupid kid. I'm like, I like Backstreet Boys. You stink and sucks.
In stink.
It's like a stupid teenager saying they want to kill Nickelback. I'm like, dude, you just don't fucking listen to them. He's like, Nickelback's the worst thing that ever happened to music. I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah, Nickelback's greatest flaw is just being the most goddamn generic music in the goddamn world.
I find it hilarious. Anyone who gets so upset over media they don't have to listen to and they're not insulted by.
let's talk about some video games.
I beat.
No,
continue.
I was going to say I was mostly joking. This podcast is getting rambling, but yeah, I was going to say I was joking just because I wanted to like draw a comparison between us talking about bad video games occasionally. It's like, oh, you don't have to play it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I believe we've actually talked about more games we liked than disliked.
Yeah, I would say so too. We don't seek them out.
We've been very lucky with that.
Mm.
I think we've only had 2. In fact, with movies, which we've had bad movies before, we've only had like 2 that were bad. I think, like straight up bad.
Which ones are you thinking of?
We had that fucking puppet one.
Yeah.
That was awful. Oh, shut up, phone.
Oh, no, you have to shut that off, you fool.
Yeah, it's one of those fake Verizon calls. So I have... Yeah, it was that, and... Oh, fuck, what was the other one? There was another one that was really bad.
What was really bad?
Oh, Star Wars. That's right. The 3rd Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because even with Sonic, I thought that was okay.
Passable. Yeah, okay.
Like, there was parts in it that entertained me. Oh my god, Star Wars was such an actual slog to get through.
I was literally about to use the exact same word. Oh. Get out of my brain.
Get out of my brain!
No, but yeah.
We're just going to quote YouTubers this entire time.
So,
Oh, hold on. Oh, this is just for me.
Holy shit, you fucking killed her, dude!
And you'll have no idea what I did. Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea either because we're still recording on opposite sides of the country, which means that I can't hear anything that's playing on your computer.
Because us essential workers, we won't isolate ourselves from anyone but the people we love.
Yeah. Anywho.
Oh, kill me. Anyway, so I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I did not because in a weird sort of living situation, I haven't had the most amount of time on my PS4.
Yep.
So what time I do have on it, I feel it's better to take the FF7 Remake in smaller chunks. I would say you've barely touched it, honestly. No. I fully understand that I've hardly touched it. I still maintain basically all of my opinions from last week.
And I told you, like, I think at least half of my opinions are now changed. Now that I have the whole picture, things that once did annoy me, I'm now either happy for or accepting as part of the overall story.
Fair enough. I mean, you can go ahead and talk more in detail about this. I'm not too concerned about it.
I'm going to try to be very vague with things I mention.
If you like, I'm going to treat it as it's my fault for not playing it as much and not getting on this podcast with you after it.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil the big things, but I'm going to spoil a bit.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed this game.
Mm-hmm.
This game was a solid 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay.
That being said, playing through the, I want to say 17th or 16th chapter, I was strongly trying to figure out if it was going to be a 3.5 or a 4 for me, because there's one chapter near the end where you're going through Hojo's second lab, where it is fucking awful, and it almost brought the game down for me, because it is the biggest we needed to just push more time out of this game thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Your party gets separated into 2 groups.
Already.
And in order to switch between these groups, you had to find communication stands, stand and talk to the people through communication stands to switch your party, and then your other party would wait there while the other party would clear a path for them. There was no story beats. There was no fun gameplay. It was just a chore, and so many of the enemies had ridiculous things where either they swarm you so you can attack, or they would hit you with stop magic just to delay and push more time out of this fucking game.
I have never... There are very few things I personally dislike more in RPGs, which is your party is starting to get really powerful. instead of throwing more powerful enemies at you and feel like you're progressing and reaching the limits of your overall competence, let's just artificially limit how much damage you guys can do. In this case, by splitting up the party.
I will say, immediately after I got past that part in that boss area, the game did a complete 180 and became fucking amazing to me.
Okay.
The fact that Barrett got his own boss definitely added to that, because the 2 Barrett segments are probably some of the best parts of the game.
Helps that you have said on record that you prefer Barrett's combat to a lot of the others.
Barrett is really fun to play, especially if you play him the way I do, where you have like 3 rotating combos. He's really, really fun, especially once you unlock Maximum Fury from Big Bertha gun. Oh my god, it's so fun just to see him like Swiss cheese things. But I always have AP bars with Barrett. Like, he always has... Because, he has his basic combo, and then he has his triangle combo.
Yes.
So you're gaining AP like a fucking madman, so you're always going to be able to use magic or your abilities. And he hits them so much that the stagger bar goes up so much as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed a lot of the changes they made. And even things that used to... What?
Oh, no, I was about to say, there sounds like there's a butt coming.
No, actually. Even things that really annoyed me when I first started, like the Organization 13 ghosts, I understand their purpose now. Yeah. I understand why the Dementors of Midgardistan are there.
Midgardistan, did you just say?
Midgar and Azkaban, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Midgaristan. Like Kazakhstan, but Midgaristan.
Yeah, I tried to do Azkaban, so Midgardistan.
It
kind of comes off.
Say what you think that location is called again, please.
Midgardistan?
No, the other one. The real one, the actual
Azkaban? The Harry Potter dungeon?
Yes, okay, you're correct. It sounded weird when you said it, and I was thinking, like, was that the real word? Or is he...
No, the Dementors are from Azkaban in Harry Potter. Well, I don't know if they're from there, but that's where they are.
You're pretty much correct, and I think that's the worst. Hey, Dumbledore. We got these big friggin' ghosts that literally suck the life out of people. What should we do with them?
So I'm not going to tell you...
Make them guards and don't tell anyone.
I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I want you to guess what they are.
Does it have something to do with Reeve?
It has nothing to do with Reeve.
Okay.
I don't know why you would think that, but I would be interested to know why you think that.
I'm literally throwing things against a wall.
Oh, okay.
You know what it is? I saw a partial spoiler thing of Kate Sith. You
saw what Kate Sith looked like?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ruin a little bit of this for you, because you know the original story.
More or less, yeah.
When the plate falls, it's very dramatic, it's very tense, it's very sad, and you see everyone like freaking out and trying to escape like this huge natural disaster. Then you see Kate Sith run up on top of a building, fall to his knees, and slam his hand on the ground, and it's the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen.
I think literally I saw it on Twitter, and I think like the very first comment under it was, if I had no idea the context of FF7, this would be the funniest fucking thing to me.
I laughed my fucking ass off the entire time the plate fell down for various reasons.
It is so silly.
So, you again, story beat that you're well aware of, the death of the Avalanche members.
Yes.
There wasn't a single member during those scenes where I didn't laugh.
Oh, no.
And it's not intentionally funny.
Oh, boy. That's not good. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sure if it's genuinely hilarious or you're just broken as a person. Like I am.
Oh, God.
That's, ooh, I cannot wait.
Oh, God.
Because you know what? While I appreciate a lot of the Avalanche guys' new characterization in this, it feels like it's going to have a lot more weight to it. There's some parts about him that are starting to rub me up the wrong way, so I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
I take great solace in your mortality, my friends.
I'm sorry about your butt.
I'm not sorry.
God. Dude, fucking A. I really, really enjoy it. Okay, so we've talked about this privately, but not during the cast. The story has definitely taken less of a... it was originally very a story-focused game. Mm-hmm. Like a narrative-focused game is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And now it's become a character-focused game, which is the best thing they could have ever done.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's what you do with this, because everyone knows the story beats, so how are you going to keep people stringing along with what actually happens? The answer to that is just make it more about the people that we didn't get to spend a hell of a lot of time with, or would like to spend more time with, even if we did.
I will give Nomura credit. It's something he's very good in, and it's the reason why I think anyone would even like the Kingdom Hearts story and even be on it with him at this point, that all of his games for Kingdom Hearts are very character-driven. Mm-hmm. So the reason why you're able to put up with all the worthless storytelling, like the darkness bullshit and all that, is because you actually care about the characters that are in it.
And if for whatever reason those characters don't grab you, then Kingdom Hearts has some of the worst story in the world.
Yeah.
It is an absolute slog to get through.
Like, I enjoy FF story much more than I do Kingdom Hearts story. But I am... Yes. The story for FF7 is still a giant pile of shit. And that has nothing to do with Nomura. That's just the way it is. So, making the choice to expand the character interactions and make the story focused on the characters is probably the best decision that Square has ever made. I'll be honest.
I would say so. And that seems to be the case that most people would agree with that assessment. Most people seem to care not about what story beats it's going through as much as they're saying, like, hey, it's fun. These fun little moments between the characters. I have seen that fucking macro of Aerith picking up the chair over and over again.
She's got the chair!
I've not gotten to that point. I just know that it happens. It's the greatest goddamn thing.
God damn. So,
I was on. You know what? I haven't spent a hell of a lot of time with Aerith. I was expecting her probably to be the worst. She seems like she's going to be pretty fun.
Okay, so the weird thing about Aerith is, and I want to get back to another point between her and Tifa, because for the longest time, both Tifa and Aerith were the same character to me, because they always were.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between those two that...
I like how they're actually different characters in this, especially once the party gets back together. You can definitely see the differences between them. Aerith is they're both very pain-driven characters.
But?
Except Aerith deals with her pain by distracting herself, by, like, doing things to help others and stuff like that. And Tifa always wears her pain on her shoulder.
Okay.
How they interact with people and how they deal with things, they're actually finally different characters to me.
All right.
And I find that a good step. Aerith, though, funny thing about her is, she doesn't let out the crazy until you get to Wall Street. Walmart? I'm going to say Walmart.
Walmart, but basically I understood what you said.
Aerith is a fucking psychopath, and I love every second of it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, God, it's so great. Just some of the moments. I'm not going to ruin them any of them for you, but you saw one of them with the chair. She is such a demented psychopath. It's hilarious to me. Maybe demented's not the word.
I get what you mean.
She's like one of those passionate Christian girls until you get her in bed. And you see the crazy come out. That's the best way I describe Aerith to anyone.
That's your field, I'm afraid.
Oh, you haven't gotten to the crazy yet.
No, I meant the spiel about the Christian girls.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but she's
explain to me more, David.
She's honestly probably one of my best characters. I can't explain because it'd probably ruin moments for you.
Yeah.
But she has some of the best one-liners in the game.
That's fair.
She has the best one-liners in the game.
I know it when I see it.
Oh, you'll know it when you fucking hear it.
That's what I meant, but yeah, okay.
Another really great character that is, I believe, is new to this. I don't remember him being in the original. Is Andreas, who is the owner of the Honeybee Inn.
Yeah, I don't think he was there. Or if he was,
Yeah.
he was an incredibly nothing
The
background.
Honeybee Inn has had a complete overhaul since the original one, and while they took out the funny hot tub scene,
Aw,
they replaced it with something a million times better.
good.
To the point where I had a smile like a fucking madman the entire time. It's a perfect scene, and
Good.
it comes out of fucking nowhere, and I loved every second of it.
Occasionally they make decisions with these, and it's rough to see when they do or don't hit. But
It's kind of weird.
I'm glad to hear that you would be effectively telling me there are a lot more hits than misses.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's weird because the original Final Fantasy, it was kind of weirdly making fun of gays and transgenders and all that shit.
And even Square Enix is like, you know what? Maybe this doesn't translate as well.
They took it from being a kind of a funny joke at the haha look at the weird people and made it more of an empowering thing that Cloud just kind of got exposed to it at some point. Like, none of the characters that are openly gay or transgender or any of that, none of them are played for jokes in this.
Yeah.
It's more that the experience and seeing Cloud's reaction to things is the joke. I don't know how to explain it. I found it a lot better than the original one.
Okay. So in this modern time where people are trying to be are obviously more progressive and more sensitive to this sort of thing, it doesn't come off as cringy like it would have if the exact same scene had been made today.
Yes.
Okay. Because that's good to hear, because they could have literally gotten away with doing it almost 1-to-1 and just said, well, that's just how it went in the other game. But it's good to see that they went back and changed it, at least the tone, so it's more acceptable.
Andreas is probably one of the most empowering characters in that game.
Good. More than I can say for Persona.
Oh, what happened to Persona?
Oh
wait, that's the guy that was
Did you hear about
Manly Man, and when they went inside of him, they found out he was transgender or something like that.
No,
that his final boss inside of him was a flower.
I know who you're talking about. That's not who I'm talking about. That's from another game. It's from the updated version of Persona 5. Oh. I would actually look up exactly what it was, because it's minor, kind of. If I find an article on it, they would do a better job of explaining it than I could. Okay. It's effectively like a group of characters that had their dialogue changed in the West because the original dialogue in Japanese was, kind of just not cool.
Oh, really? That'd be the first time I've ever heard that. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah. No, well, it's two obviously flamboyant guys on the street that stop one of your party members, I think during a bonding thing that you're doing with them. And then in the original, oh god, what was it? Yeah, in the original Japanese, there were two gay guys that were being, weirdly creepy and just kind of up on your character for a while, and on your friend for a bit. And it was portrayed as them being weird because they're gay. But in the West, it's a bit more dumbed down to them just being they're just kind of weirdly flamboyant.
Okay. Because usually the West is embarrassingly bad with handling supportive LGBT, characters.
Right. Well, they're minor characters, thankfully. They're background as shit. Yeah. But at the same, I would look up an article about it, because I might be getting some details wrong.
Okay.
But yeah.
I tried to play Persona 5, but the time mechanic scares the hell out of me, so I never ended up doing it. Oh, it terrifies the shit out of me.
I gotta find some time to go back to Persona 5 Gold Edition and just get through it.
I'll need like a fucking guide to tell me what exactly to do every fucking day. Otherwise, I'd freak out.
You will not lack for these.
Ugh. But yeah,
I'm glad to hear that about FF7.
Yeah, it's been really great, and I love the character changes. Barrett's great as you get into the game. Aerith is perfect. I don't think I'd do anything to change her.
I'm glad that's where that comes from.
Red 13 is neat so far. His voice kind of threw me off at first. I don't know what I was expecting, but what I got was like a Mufasa.
I was about to ask, like, for you to describe him, and that's a
Mufasa.
weird choice. Because what am I?
What's up?
Well, I was going to say, what am I coming off of with my only Red 13 voice?
Yeah, right.
It's fucking Takahata.
I've had a tremendous amount of sex here.
Hello, guys.
Oh, my best buddy, don't tell him about my glorious sexcapades. Fuck, what the fuck was that line? Oh, whatever.
I am Red X, I, and I am hungry. I like this guy. I'm splendid.
They took out the another thing they took out. They took out the whole trying to mate Red with Aerith scene.
Thank God.
Although they definitely had Hojo suggest several things like that. There is from the very first moment he talks to her, I think it's perfect introduction to Hojo and what a fucking terrifying monster this is.
Okay.
And it's the first time, like, you see kind of Aerith, like, she doesn't react until he leaves, but as soon as he leaves, she just fucking breaks down. It's just a creepy as fuck scene. And all he's doing is talking. He's just talking, that's all he's doing. And you just get skeezed.
So Hojo no longer comes off as a incompetent mad scientist, you would say?
No, he's definitely not incompetent at all.
Okay.
He straight up suggests mating Aerith to avoid the mistake of losing another Cetra again. And everyone at the table of these Saturday morning supervillains
are like, this is pretty fucked up.
All look uncomfortable and don't say anything for several seconds. I'm like, geez, these are people that just had people tortured and laughed about it. Oh, God. But yeah, so, I mean, Hojo... Until they had the second part with Hojo, I think if they only had the first part with him, it would have been great. But as soon as they added the second super long, super pointless dungeon, he kind of got overused, and I stopped giving a shit.
Gotcha.
But as far as I can say, there's only 2 dungeons in this game which I honestly can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
You went through one of them.
Oh, I went through the longer part of them. Yeah, yeah, that wasn't fun.
Did you get the 2 materials?
I got the one. I got the one I thought I would want.
Was that the summon?
Fuck me. Well, you know what, Dave? This is why I rotate saves.
No, you don't need it. Honestly,
okay.
I only used that summon once. It's a Moogle riding the Chocobo.
Okay, never mind. I don't want it.
It's the wind elemental, and honestly, I never really needed him. So few people are weak against wind.
Yeah, you know what? I've been finding a bunch of people that are fairly weak to wind.
You're in the one segment where they're weak to wind.
Okay, never mind then. You know what I got? Well, you know what? Am I thinking of the right material? Because that one looked... I, judged it based on the color.
They're all summoning materia are red.
Yeah, that one didn't look red. The one I was looking at.
It's in the fan.
Now I don't know what you're thinking. Now I know. Okay, then I missed 3.
I might have missed one, too. I got the important blue one, which is the elemental materia.
That's the one I got, and that helped me a bunch through that fight. A couple fights.
So...
the other one, the purple one I couldn't find a way to get to.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is.
And then the red one I entirely forgot about, so I just never went back for it. Even though Barrett told me, like, hey, remember that materia? Don't you want to go get it? And I thought he was talking about the purple one, and I'm like, oh, God, I really don't want to traipse through this maze again. No, fuck it.
Alright, so, yeah, the elemental materia. If you put it in the weapon slot and put an elemental materia next to it, it makes all your basic attacks be elemental attacks as well.
Yeah.
But if you put it in a linked slot in your accessory slot, you're more resistant to those elemental attacks.
Oh, that's neat.
I found that out during my fight with fucking Shiva.
Okay, so thanks for the heads up.
Oh yeah, I gave Aerith that for the Shiva fight, and holy shit, that's the only reason why I beat it that early on.
That's good.
But yeah, the most two useful summons you'll have, unless you do all like the bonus content, will be Ifrit and Shiva. Those would be the two you'll constantly summon.
Because I'm assuming most enemies can be reliably taken down with either fire or ice.
Usually, yes.
Okay.
Another useful one is Fat Chocobo, but that's only like if you want to spare 2 bars, and if the enemy doesn't have an elemental weakness.
Yeah, okay.
Because Fat Chocobo isn't an elemental; he's just Fat Chocobo. He does more damage, but
Fat Chocobo transcends elements.
No, but yeah, I got through most of it with just the excuse me. I got through most of it with just the 2 summons.
Good.
Also, another thing you should probably do is when you get to Wall Market and you have a chance after you become champion of the ring.
You assume
you're going to have to.
Okay.
After you do that, I would recommend before you do anything else, just have Cloud and Aerith go back and unlock their second limit breaks. Cloud's limit break is super useful. Aerith's limit break is just kind of there.
But Cloud's though.
Cloud's is incredible. I killed like half of Rufus's Shinra's health bar with that.
Is it fair enough? Is it a bit weird that that last fight against Airbuster in the factory after that big old maze? Mm-hmm. Is it weird that I had an easier time with that than I did one of the fights in the maze?
No, because you made him weaker.
But even then, I didn't make him significantly weaker.
I used all the key cards I could.
I did too. It's just I got 2 items from him because I wanted more items, and then I took out 1 bomb and 1 AI core.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you have to also remember you're doing this fight with 3 characters now, and by now you know the mechanics. Where by the beginning you were fighting a boss with nothing.
No, I don't even mean that. I don't mean the Scorpion fight. I mean, I found him less difficult than... God, what was it? It was fighting 2 or 3 of those big fucking bug queens.
Oh.
On the way to that blue materia. That was a more difficult fight for me. I'm not sure why.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe... I don't know. But whatever. I got past it all. It's all good. I'm alive.
Oh, so do you know Cloud's? I think it's called the Punisher stance.
Yes.
Okay, so the Operator stance is clearly his default stance from the game, which was Zack's default stance.
Yes.
Do you know who the Punisher stance is?
Who is the Punisher?
Sephiroth.
Yeah, I see it.
It's weird, right? I had that pointed out to me in a video, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's weird.
That's a neat thing.
I get why, but at the same time, well, that's weird.
Just a tiny bit. I mean, well. Well. I don't know about that.
Oh.
So,
is there any concerns you have for this game that I can confirm or give you what?
Or assuage?
Yes.
Not particularly. Everything that I've gone through so far hasn't really changed much. I haven't gotten to any significant story beats. besides, doing the factory. As I said, I haven't played it nearly as much as you.
I'm going through it a second time now.
Yeah, I'm glad that you've gotten me some advice, but at the same time, it's like I don't know what to ask advice for.
Oh, here's some advice. In Chapter 14, where it's your last chance before you go in to the end game, quote unquote end game. Chapter 14 is the last chapter where you'll be in the open world.
Yeah, okay.
And before you end that, you should have equipment and materia set for all 4 characters. Don't be like me and say, well, I'm only ever playing as 3 characters. I only need materia and equipment for 3.
Oh, no.
Because holy fuck was I screwed.
Oh, because that's when it does the split up thing?
Yeah, that and several other places, because there's also a point later on where Cloud and Tifa are in one place, and Barrett and Aerith are going to go fight a boss of their own.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you definitely need... You can't keep switching. You need... Because that's going to take forever for you. And you can't even, because it switches from fight to fight in few points, so you just need to have equipment and material for everyone.
Right.
So I was kind of screwed.
Aww.
But yeah, ultimately, I say this game is a solid 4 out of 5 for me. I have a lot of the same complaints that I had with Kingdom Hearts 3, but when I think of the 2 back-to-back...
I have a lot of the same complaints as I did about Final Fantasy 3 back in the day.
I think the biggest thing about the 2 differences is the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 ended in a way that would screw the players over and guarantee that there will be more to go after this. They lied to their player base saying it'll be the last game, and it's just going to be the same thing in the next games. Final Fantasy VII seems like... Final Fantasy VII Remake has a really great ending, and it stands to set up something that's unique more than Kingdom Hearts 3's ending stood up to just give you the same bullshit over and fucking over again.
Kingdom Hearts 3's ending was specifically saying this is going to keep going until profit projections start to significantly dip.
Yeah. You know how we're going to end this game? Let's send the main villain to heaven right after he committed genocide in so many worlds and slaughtered a poor innocent girl right in front of her loved ones. And send the main character who's selfless and so hardworking to fucking purgatory. That's a good way to end the series, right?
That'll keep people invested.
Oh, the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 is honestly one of the worst endings I've ever seen. And if you want the true ending, you got to pay another $40. If you want the true ending, Mark, you got to pay another $40 for another 3 hours of content.
Or I could just look up a YouTube video.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd recommend that.
You can't do that in this age anymore.
Oh. Okay, so yeah.
When did Kingdom Hearts 2 come out?
Well over a decade before Kingdom Hearts 3. Let me think. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Not even that. Not even that. YouTube reached the height of its popularity, and I say height of its popularity, but it reached actual prominence in 2005.
I think I was in high school when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
I think I was in. If I was, you know what? No, I think I was in late middle school.
Yeah.
I must have been if you were in high school, and then I must have been only 10 when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out.
Kingdom Hearts 1 came out when I was super young.
Kingdom Hearts 1, I believe, came out in 2004, so I could not have looked it up on YouTube if I wanted to, because YouTube wasn't a thing.
My mom had my mom had medical problems when Kingdom Hearts came out, so I must have been.
Boy, that's the marker.
Yeah, I remember being in the store with her friends that were watching me for months, and Kingdom Hearts was out, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to try that. And the girl,
get me the Disney thing,
who was my cousin, who was the daughter of the family that was watching me, was right next to me, and she's like, why would you want to play that? As she goes on to become a mega nerd a few years later of it. Oh, she got into it more than I did.
Why do you want to play that? I don't know. Why do you want to be alive, Sharon?
Oh god.
Because I like Goofy and Donald, and I like these recognizable characters. Have you seen ProZD's video of like reacting to the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer?
No.
Oh, it's great because he. Yeah, it's a great thing.
For a sec.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
He does a great thing where?
It's a great thing of just I hate describing the video, and you could just go watch it, but it's like flitting back and forth between the serious Nomura-esque anime scenes of talking about, do you think the light will beat the darkness? No, I think the darkness will beat the light.
I may have seen this.
And then it's just like, oh god, this is so fucking slog, and then it just shows a picture of Woody. It's just, howdy!
Yep, I have seen that. Fuck.
It perfectly sums up. It's like, oh look, Disney characters. I like
so
Disney.
I'm in Hollow Bastion. All of a sudden, Disney characters start popping out of every orifice. Do you ever see that?
No.
They're talking about the darkness, and oh man, I hope we solve this mystery. And then we go back to Resident Evil 4, and it's like, oh, let's press A! Press A! Zombies in your face! Press A, motherfucker! You don't need to reload your gun! We did that shit for you! Press A!
What?
Oh my god, look up Kingdom Hearts versus Resident Evil 4. It is fucking hilarious.
I'll keep this in my backlog.
He just shits talk Kingdom Hearts for the longest time, and how Resident Evil is never not entertaining to play. Resident Evil 4, that is.
I mean, there's a part of me that wants to say, like, it's unfair because those are just straight up two different animals. But there's also a part of me that's like, you know what, Resident Evil 4 is fucking baller, so yeah. And it is one of the few games I will literally just describe it as baller and not dry heave. So yeah, go for it.
Hold on.
Baller.
Sorry, I peeked in the back of my throat for a bit.
Ugh.
But yeah, so
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So what do you like and what do you not like in the very limited experience you have?
Okay, there's no way to say this without opening myself to the criticism of Get Good.
Here, I'll protect you, Mark. Ready? Kingdom Hearts 7 Original wasn't the perfect game you fucking thought. I'm sorry,
Kingdom Hearts 7?
Yeah. God, that's going to be the fucking day, huh? I'd be dead by then.
Sorry, everyone. Dave sees time non-linearly. He's seeing the dire future that awaits us.
I'll protect you from anything you have to say right now. Final Fantasy VII was not the perfect. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII was not the perfect game you remember it as.
Yes,
the story was absolute garbage. Sorry,
okay.
But it was.
Okay. That's not even okay. Because I would even say that what I'm about to say is not like.
Oh, don't worry. You could fucking say Hitler was right by this point. You're fine. Do you know how much hate I got for saying I didn't love Final Fantasy VII? Within hours of posting that, someone from my FC in Final Fantasy 14 goes, Final Fantasy VII was not overrated. I'm like, oh, hey, thanks for listening.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to touch this issue. That is on you. You have made your bed. You will lie in it.
I don't care. People's butt hurt is what gets me up in the morning to do this.
Oh, boy.
It feeds me.
You know what? It gets you up or it gets you up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mark.
No, so what I was about to say before I was interrupted by some kind of Hitler's right argument.
Demonetized.
Oh, boy. It's okay. I wasn't expecting anything from this.
Go on.
There are a couple... There's a couple enemies specifically where I find it very difficult to react to what they're doing correctly. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just me misreading it, or I just need to get good. But I find that there are a couple enemies specifically, or a couple fights specifically, that it's just I don't feel like I'm playing them right.
Which fights?
Those fights with the bugs. The occasion, I'm really not fond of fighting those shredder guys.
Shredder guys? You mean
whatever.
like the seahorses?
Sweepers. The big fucker, the bipedal robots with the machine guns.
Oh, those.
The
Those aren't
sweepers and
that
the
bad.
cutters. No, yeah, it's just I'm just using those as an example of like,
Yeah.
oh man,
The thing I
But
found about
that
them
is-
is it's a weird fight where you can't be cautious. You have to be relentless with them, and that's the best way to beat them.
fair enough.
If you're relentless,
but-
they stagger. They stagger super fucking easy.
But that's a minor like detail of like I feel like I'm not doing it right, but that's more on
Yeah.
my end than the game's end.
There are some horrible enemies in this game. They're without spoiling too much. A lot of them are flyers.
Yeah.
One of them
There's
just
there's
uses
a lot of
One of them just uses stop every 30 seconds.
ugh.
Oh, it's awful. It's so fucking stupid.
There were a fair amount of instances in which, in that exact maze I just got off of, where it's like, okay, turrets or flyers, and then people are like, okay, Barrett, you're up, and it's like, but what about you two?
Barrett could have a melee weapon on. You don't know.
Oh,
Oh, God. I trained up Barrett's melee weapon. That was awful. It's not even worth it, because once you get the fucking, what is it? The Big Bertha skill, you don't need any other skills with Barrett. You just have all the skills you need.
right.
Just turn everything into fucking Swiss cheese, and you win the fight, and you're done.
Da 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
You know what? Second time was
Why?
fun, but the first time he does it just out of nowhere, it's like, Barrett, shut up. Shut up, you fucking dweeb.
It's because they did it in Final Fantasy 15. They have to do it in every game now.
And you know what? Just don't do it too much, and I think it's charming. But you do it too much, we have a problem.
You start to notice it when you have to keep doing infinitely respawning fights in terribly laid out maps.
Oh, boy. But anyway.
No, that's one of the only two like awful fucking dungeons. All the rest of them will be fine.
Good. I'm still glad that I have stuff to look forward to.
Oh yeah, you have a fuck ton to look forward to. I'd say the game doesn't really even start until you meet Aerith.
Yay! I can finally play.
Because she's weirdly the main character.
You say weirdly, like it doesn't actually like.
She's hardly...
Even in FF7 original, I would say she's the deuteragonist.
Yeah, but she's hardly in the game, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's hardly in the game. and
Hardly
she's...
in this game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
She has, I'm trying to think, that one huge segment before the plate falls, and then she has the ending.
Yes.
And then every other time you're just with the other Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Fair enough.
Oh, I gotta figure out how to use Tifa, though, because she's the one character, like, I feel kind of brings the party down. Gameplay-wise, not personality-wise.
Of the of the three I've been using right now, Tifa's the one I've been using the least, but I feel like, but that's mostly just because I haven't given her any magic. I've just given it to whatever reason, Barrett and Cloud, and so I've honestly just been like watching her ATB, telling her to buff herself, and then letting the AI rock it.
Here's the thing, like, she's kind of a weird mix between... She's not as strong as Cloud, but she still has good attack. She's not as good with magic as Aerith, but she still has decent magic. So she has this weird middle ground, and why would you play as her if you can just play as Cloud or Aerith?
Fair, well, because Tifa. No, because she seems to be the person that people really, really like.
I get that, but ultimately she just kind of seems the most pointless to me. Because if I want hard-hitting attacker, I'm going to go with Cloud. If I want hard-hitting like skills that are long distance, I'm going to go with Barrett or Aerith.
It seems like a lot of people haven't been using her for straight-up damage like Cloud. It seems like they've been using her for staggering. Like, apparently for outside of like elemental stuff, she has some of the best stagger abilities.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But like I said, every time I ever have the slightest bit of problem, I just hit right on my D-pad, go over to Barrett, and instantly destroy everything. Maybe I'll have better hard time. More of a hard time on hard mode.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
See, I'm afraid it's not going to be challenging, though. I'm afraid it's just going to be frustrating. I don't know. Maybe not.
I think the frustrating part that you're thinking of, I think a lot of people would argue, is what encourages you to play it in a way that feels more challenging.
In some situations, yes, I agree. But in other situations with certain people you fight in this, it's strictly just to waste your time. I feel like I'm Aaron right now explaining what I don't like about Ocarina of Time. Trying to bring out legitimate points that are bad about the game to improve it later on, and no one just wants to fucking listen.
Listen.
Yeah?
I'm here to be your opposite.
Are you?
I should be. That's how these dynamics function.
Okay, if you say so. I mean, I usually just let you do your own fucking thing.
You're coming in a little staticky, by the by.
Am I?
A little bit. It comes and goes.
Hope it doesn't show up.
Let's hope. Hopefully it's just on my end.
I'm hoping, because I can't fix that shit. Is there anything...
So, FF...
Good.
I was literally just going to say FF, and then move on.
FF14 came out with some information.
Yay.
About the next patch we're probably not going to get for a bit because of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
The troubles.
Yes, and I would love it if YouTube made that word demonetize Backstreet Boys reunion tour. That'd be hilarious to me.
I think it would be hilarious to everyone, David.
But yeah, so they're definitely added flying. It's in a Roman Born. They're going to add that. It's confirmed. You there? Hello?
Nope. You. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, you cut out there for a bit.
They're definitely adding flying into a Roman Born original areas.
Good.
So that's definitely confirmed now.
Yay! Can't wait.
Fuck! I don't remember the other things now.
That's actually going to be much, much more helpful when it comes to crafting gathering.
Oh yeah, the other big thing is to do with a Roman Born. They are making it so you... They remove 13 quests from a Roman Born. And minimized a bunch of others.
Good.
And they're increasing the experience earned and the equipment earned, so it's more of a story experience for a Roman Born.
All right.
So that's probably going to be much better. Because a lot of that, I'd say about 50% of it was just fluff, busy work. You know?
Yeah, but to be fair, it's like you just releasing a new MMO. You're just going to want people to keep with the busy work and try and find things around other things to do.
They say the biggest dropping off point for them was the fact that they cleared a Rummy Born, after everyone saying Heaven's Sword was so great, saw everything they had to do to still get to Heaven's Sword, and then give up.
Yeah, that was a really bad moment.
That is the biggest drop-off point for them. And I'm like, it's nice to have that confirmed, too.
Oh, no.
What else? They're going to be ending Shadowbringer's story.
Good.
That's going to be ending,
so we can move on.
They're going to be adding a new Nier raid.
Okay.
So that's going to be neat. Trying to think what else. I don't think Eden's getting anything. I could be wrong with that, though. I would need to look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
But what have you been doing this week, if not FF?
I've been playing a bunch of random bullshit.
I see Stellaris there.
Yep, Stellaris in the most recent one. That one I was just loading that up while we were playing, just so I make sure whatever new mod I just loaded didn't immediately crash the game.
I
yeah,
want Stellaris to play exactly like Skyrim. But Mark, Stellaris and Skyrim have I don't. Did you hear me? If I don't see a horse's ass at the start of this, I'm gonna be very upset. No, didn't land for you.
Didn't land. What I actually been playing a bunch of, weirdly enough, was XCOM, specifically XCOM 2.
You were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just had this. It actually was. I saw that, kind of surprisingly, XCOM was releasing a. I say XCOM like it's a company, fucking Firaxis or whichever company. Oh my god, what is the company? Hold on.
I don't know.
Whatever the company is, hold on. Stay right there. Don't move.
I'll try not to.
Yeah, Firaxis Games. Okay. That they were releasing a kind of a spin-off game called XCOM Chimera Squad.
Okay.
That didn't hit for you?
No, should it?
No. Okay, I didn't know if you had seen it at any point before. It got a couple articles.
I've only played a bit of the first one.
Okay.
I say the first one, but yeah.
Yeah, Enemy Unknown, the reboot.
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is, in XCOM 2 has a weird sort of thing where XCOM 2 treats it as a sequel to XCOM, but if you lost your XCOM campaign.
Yes, I know that.
So the entirety of XCOM 2 is the aliens took over and you're now part of a new resistance cell to topple them.
Because I guess if you won the first one, there wouldn't be need for a sequel.
Pretty much, yeah. Because you win, and then you kind of figure out that there's another thing coming, but it's it's just ominous vagueness. There's really nothing to it.
Okay.
So XCOM 2 is just like, okay, you know what, they win, and now you're resistance members. XCOM Chimera Squad is not a full sequel. It's not XCOM 3. It is sort of it's both, as I said, a spin-off to XCOM, and sort of, it was described to me as it's a beta for changes to the XCOM formula to see what sticks for XCOM 3.
Okay.
So the plot is, it's effectively XCOM Police Force, in that it is after XCOM 2 when you win, and you kick the aliens off your planet, or you kick the king aliens, these guys called the Ethereals.
Yeah.
But that leaves all the other aliens and hybrids that they brought down as their army.
With no master. And so the newly formed government is like, okay, hold up. Everyone shut up. And they just kind of they are now trying to organize people together. Predominantly, I think it's a city. It's either City 31 or City 13 is this new mega city that you're in. Okay.
Which is specifically supposed to be the big experiment of an integrated society of humans.
You don't want to know what happened. You don't want to know what happened to the other 12 to 30 cities, okay?
It's not the one. It's not. It's all other cities. It's all other cities on the planet.
I got it.
I know you did, but it's all about this integrated human alien hybrid societies, and the political racial tensions that come with that. The Chimera Squad is apparently a anti-terrorist task group that is specifically comprised of both humans, aliens, and hybrids that are specifically about countering various huge groups in the city in XCOM-style combat.
Interesting.
So it is a thing of you get to combine the normal classes that you had from XCOM 2, like the Specialist, the Ranger, etc., with newly formed alien classes. Like the main guy is a sectoid, a guy called Verge, who is all about his back. Okay, he's psychic debilitating support. The whole point is that it's not like XCOM 2 where your guys are effectively faceless mooks that you can just customize to your liking, and they are just whatever you say, and it doesn't matter because they're going to die in the next mission. This is closer to the closest example I
Not
can
if
give
you
is
save scum it.
I will save Scum for my Colonel. I'm not going to save Scum for my Squatty. He is dead. He charged out so I could see where the aliens are shooting from. But this one, the closest thing I can think of is it's closer to Fire Emblem, in that it's a strategy RPG where every single person is a unique character with their own ability. Their own abilities. Like, it's not. I don't have a specialist class. The one that is closest to the specialist abilities is this chick named Terminal, and her whole thing is having the drone that can heal and protect and do all that stuff.
Is it weird that, looking back on it now, I don't think I've ever really enjoyed any Fire Emblem game as much as Awakening, to the point where, like, I kind of had to trick myself into playing as much as I did of the last one there, Three Houses.
How do you mean?
Three Houses is an alright game, but it's kind of a disappointing Fire Emblem game, I want to say.
Or you want both Fates and Three Houses to be the same game that you discovered for the first time when you played an Awakening?
Fuck Fates. Fates was an awful game.
But no, I mean, in the case of both of them, you both want them to give the same appreciation for the game that you got when you first played Awakening.
I guess I don't know what I want, because
you want
I can go back and play.
You want to go back and experience Awakening for the first time.
Maybe. I mean, I can go back and play Awakening now and still enjoy it. There's something there about Awakening that hasn't been there for the other games.
I think was that basically the first Fire Emblem game you played for real?
Yes.
Then every single Fire Emblem game afterwards, and more importantly, every single Fire Emblem character afterwards, is irrevocably tied to you first experiencing those characters. I
don't know if that's the case.
Anyway.
I get where you're coming from, and yeah, I totally see how people go down that train, but I don't know, it seemed like there wasn't any effort put into the story of Three Houses.
Well, when you have to have three separate stories.
They're not three separate stories, though. That's the thing. They're three separate half stories. The rest of the stories are the same.
Well, when you have to do it from different perspectives and get it down from different people and kind of have it all converge on a similar point, the narrative kind of suffers.
I get that.
Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So yeah, Chimera Squad. It's much smaller. It's than XCOM 2. Obviously, they straight up said it's just not XCOM 3. It does change up a couple things. One, I would really prefer that, like the tactical RPG thing of it being named characters who cannot die.
Yep.
Like if they take fatal damage, like they'll be incapacitated for that mission and they'll like be wounded afterwards. But it's effective, but they cannot die no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you may dislike this character that you've been given.
Yeah.
So this sort of RPG mechanic and this sort of impervious characters cannot survive into XCOM 3 because that's just not the same game. But certain things that they do in this formula, I think could work. It's definitely like they're, without wanting to go into too much detail about it, they are trying a bunch of different mechanics and different things that you could do with most notably is like instead of just moving through the area and eventually coming across aliens that you got to fight, you can specifically say like, okay, we know that they're behind this door. We have a breaching mechanic.
Yeah.
So line up your squad near the door. There's a guy with one of your party members is a guy with a big fucking shield. Guess who's going first? And then each one getting surprise enemies and taking first shots at them at the risk of everyone kind of dashing to random spots. But at the same time giving you a bit more of a way to, like, it feels more like an ambush than the actual ambush mechanics from XCOM 2.
Yeah. So
in addition, sorry, the one other thing I wanted to say was like in XCOM 1 and 2 it was specifically here's your team's turn, then the alien's turn, then your team's turn. This is closer to like, I'm trying to think of like another thing that The most recent thing I can think of is honestly FF10, just because that's what comes to mind. It's closer to, but there's a lot of battle systems like it where the turns are interwoven. Like there's a marker that says this enemy is next, but then there's your character, then there's another one of your characters, then there's the second enemy, and you can clearly see who's labeled for what next turn. Yeah, but they're interwoven with each other rather than it just being their turn versus your turn.
All right.
So it's a couple other neat things that they'll see what reaction to these changes is, and then they'll say, okay, we can continue doing this for XCOM 3 when we get around to it, but this other thing that people didn't like so much we'll take out.
Right.
So it's a neat experiment in that front, even as I'm not quite sure how the story's going to hit yet. I don't know.
From what I remember about the first one, you could train up your squad to find out that quite a few members on them were useless, kind of, if I remember correctly.
There was a sort of like you would have stat spreads for certain people.
Yeah.
How do I? Well, okay, so
like one of them could be an all-powerful psychic, but you won't know that till much later on down the line.
Oh, it's not even that. Yeah, that one was ridiculous. That part was ridiculous. It was you had to research psychics. You had to build a room for a psychic test center. Then you would have to put someone in there to be tested for psychic to have the gift. I think they literally called it the gift. And then, if it's successful, you could then train them as you would train other soldiers to get to be a special psychic ops soldier that would get new abilities.
At least this way, you don't have a risk of not having basically an unhelpful unit.
Well, to be fair, that wouldn't be the case in the other one because they're not as important. Like, even if that failed, you would still have a normal soldier with whatever they ended up being. It was just super frustrating. That was like, okay, take out your colonel for 5 missions. Okay, I came back. He's negative. Whatever. Doesn't matter. In the second game, they changed it up where you literally just put them in and you made them psychic.
Oh, that's helpful.
It didn't matter who it was. It was just you slot them in, and even then, they had a weird thing where they didn't gain experience. You had to literally slot them in the psychic thing to gain new powers, but they could be pulled out at any time to go on a mission, and they wouldn't lose their progress on training. And unlike any other class, they could learn every single ability given enough time.
Oh, okay.
So give them about a month of constant training, so long as you have the supplies, and you have something that's goddamn unstoppable.
That's helpful.
It is.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, unlike the first one, you don't have a chance. From what you're telling me, you don't have a chance of having a not great unit. They're just all going to be their own thing.
In terms of functionality, it just depends on what classes you feel you're going to need. They all have function in some way. In terms of disliking a character, that's kind of up to you. Because they're no longer faceless. I say faceless like it's an insult, but I like molded stories around my guys.
You could customize them, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, completely from the ground up.
Unless you put in a cheat code.
What's up?
There were cheat codes where if you change their name to certain names, you would just get like a certain character that was fully advanced. Oh yeah,
it was like people on the development. It was like Sid Meier or like Big Boss or something along those lines. Or in my case, my big guy was Johnny 5.
You and I remember Johnny 5 very differently.
What are you talking about? I remember that part where Johnny 5 punched an alien robot so hard he shattered its glass, and then that robot came back to life and charged after Johnny 5, and then Johnny 5 shot him.
Oh, god damn.
I remember Johnny 5 saying, "Make my day, motherfucker." You know what? I haven't looked it up. I really hope that I could download a mod, because you can customize your character's voices, but the one for the Spark class, the just generic robot one that can look like Johnny 5, it's a pretty generic robot voice in all 3 cases. I really hope there's a bunch of just Johnny 5 voice clips I can find.
Fuck, now I need to watch Short Circuit again.
Go for it. It doesn't hold up, trust me, but...
I'm staying away from the sequel. I seen that once, I'll never see it again. The sequel is so awful.
Let me look here. Hold on.
Yes, read me the plot synopsis of Short Circuit 2.
Johnny 5.
Johnny 5 in New York City.
It is number 2 when I just typed in Johnny. Good. Johnny 5 voice pack for the Sparks.
What is it? What is it called?
The class that has the Johnny 5 head are called the Sparks.
Oh no, I thought you were looking at the plot summary of Johnny 5 too.
Oh no, I already know what it is. I don't care.
He goes and makes toys for a bunch of con men. That's the plot.
I don't care.
Enjoy.
Anyhow, it was a weird thing going back to XCOM 2 and remembering that the TLC War of the Chosen on the Resistance fronts. There's a lot of characters that's effectively a Star Trek: The Next Generation like reunion party. It's
kind of like how oh fuck, what was it? How Full Throttle is basically a Batman the Animated Series reunion party.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's really neat.
It is neat to get a bunch of people just that were all from the same location back to a new location.
You never beat that, did you?
No, I didn't.
You could beat that in a fucking afternoon, man.
I know I could, but I need to find an afternoon free first.
It took me over a year as a child, but I was young and very stupid.
Yes. What was that thing Yahtzee did when he was reviewing Zelda? It's like, I don't get what the terror and hype was over the water temple. Just go into the rooms you haven't gone to before and do them. Yes, I am saying I'm smarter than you were when you were 12.
That's hilarious, but I feel like I also need to point out the fact that he was playing it on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Which, do you know, I want to point out one thing.
I do not know of the original, and I do not know of any changes.
Oh, seriously? You never played the original?
I did, but I don't remember anything about the water temple.
Okay, I'm not even the water temple. Do you remember the iron boots?
Yes.
Do you remember how you had to open the menu, wait for the menu to open, move over to your boots, press the iron boots, and equip them?
I remember being very frustrated with that. Yes, David.
The version that Yahtzee played, you could put the iron boots to a C button. That knocked out half the time for the water temple alone. So I'm just like, yeah, it's funny, but at the same time, they reworked the entire water temple in that game.
I don't see what the big problem is.
Oh,
he says about something that was fixed in post.
And I remember they also did a bunch of other things with the water temple because it was such a fucking awful thing to play.
Yeah. Ah, well.
Yeah, and speaking of Zelda, I'm watching like people review Majora's Mask and Aaron replay Majora's Mask and stuff like that. It wasn't a very well-made game.
I remember very much enjoying the story of it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story. I love the set pieces, but yeah, watching people replay it, it's a really badly made game. Like, I'd say a lot of points in it are just straight up bad. And it brought back a lot of bad memories for me watching others play it. Like, the entire Great Bay section is awful. The entire Goron Mountain section is awful. Yeah, I'd say the only places I really like super enjoyed was the swamp and the graveyard. Yeah, get out of me, swamp. Yeah, but the graveyard was really neat. Like the whole like fucking like graveyard sections.
Mm-hmm.
I remember really enjoying them.
Wasn't that the one where Wasn't that one with the guy that you had to lead around with your fairy?
The guy you had to lead around with your fairy.
Am I thinking of something else?
I don't know.
Yeah, well.
All I remember about the graveyard section is becoming huge, like getting masks to communicate with ghosts, playing a song to save a mummied father and reunite him with his little girl. Like, there was a lot of neat things in that segment. There's a lot of really neat things in Majora's Mask. It really like rewarded you for like going out of your way to look at things. and try different things. But the dungeons themselves in the area were made intentionally frustrating. Like a lot of parts. And the worst thing about it is you were always on a time limit and you lose all your progress if your time ran out. I remember getting halfway through the swamp dungeon and having to reset my clock. Back when I first played it. And as a kid when I had like all the fucking time in the world to do stuff. And now I only have an hour a day in between 2 jobs.
And other times you wake up tired.
Oh, God, I always wake up tired.
No matter what.
Ugh.
So let's get back to that quarantine. I feel uncomfortable even talking over the air with you. You're gonna like send it through the 5G towers.
I'm not sick.
I know. You can't prove that.
Yeah, you're right.
You might have those Backstreet Boys tickets in your back pocket.
Listen, I love Backstreet Boys. You're not safe around me. Everybody groove to the music. Everybody jam. Oh God, it's spreading.
Everyone groove to the music. Go play FF7. Go play XCOM Chimera Squad if you played XCOM 2. And if you didn't play XCOM 2, don't worry, it's free this week.
I want you to play FF7 because there's a few parts in it I want you to go through.
Oh well, don't worry.
Oh, so do you know how you know about the Dawn scene, right?
Yes.
There are a total of 9 marriage candidate dresses. 3 for each character.
Uh-huh.
Tifa's is simple. You just do Tifa's quest and then you're able to just tell her what to wear. By the way, the reason why I'm telling you this is because there's a fucking trophy for getting all 9. Aerith's you get based on how many people you help in her slum.
Uh-huh.
And Cloud's you get based on what decisions you make in Wall Market.
Clouds you get based on how many decisions of how pretty Cloud feels that day.
Yeah, kinda. I ended up being mine was like a princess maid. I didn't
thanks
look
for
up.
joining us, guys.
Yeah. I didn't look up what would lead to what. I just played it the way I would.
Right.
And I ended up getting a princess maid. And I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't know if I don't know if that's well.
Dave, it's you.
Hold on. I need to look this up.
We're running out of time, David.
Nah, we're fine. We haven't done time much in most of them. Hold on. FF7 Remake. I'm doing incognito mode, by the way. Cloud dresses. No, I don't want shopping. Fuck off. Okay, so yeah, I got the Princess Maid. That might actually be the best one. There's the Princess Maid one with like frills, a tiara, a fucking rose, and everything. The one to the left of that is kind of like, I want to say it looks like the original dress where it's like the blue with the purple and like pigtails. And the one on the left is a very, very shitty black dress.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Tifa's look neat. One of them just looks very, what's the word where you take someone else's culture?
Appropriating?
Yeah, that one.
In what direction?
Well, these characters are meant to be Japanese, right?
They were created by a Japanese company, yes.
Now maybe it comes off as Chinese to me. I don't know.
It doesn't matter, David. You know what? Of the grievances that are held, I don't think China is going to get on anyone's case for wearing Chinese dresses.
It's funny because Aerith, there's 3 for Aerith as well, and 2 of them look like prom dresses, and one of them looks like something a fucking fairy tale princess would wear.
So, Aerith.
No, like the one you get for doing all the slums stuff is definitely not Aerith. It definitely looks like fucking high class shit. And all she does is bitch the entire time she's in it.
Fine, fair enough.
Hold on, I'll just send you the picture. Hold on.
You really don't need to.
You don't want to kill time?
I mean, at this point, we're killing other people's time.
Oh, of course. That's why they listen. No one listens.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, David.
The fuck am I looking for? My games. The Realm Reborn.
God, you're telling me like you're gonna send me this shit, and then you just kind of keep coasting.
There we go. I'm sending you it. Give me a break. One of these things is not like the other, am I right?
I know which one I'm picking.
Yeah, you're gonna do all the slum work.
Anyway.
You're gonna become the slum lord.
I have to, aren't I?
Alright, I think that's good. I give Final Fantasy VII a 4 out of 5.
A beard out of 5.
4 beards out of 5. And I'd say for the first time, I'm actually excited for a Final Fantasy game that's not 14.
Woo!
I can't wait to see what they do in the future, and I'm really bummed that it's going to be a long time now before I see that.
It's alright. We have plenty of time and things to occupy ourselves with, like... and...
I just got,
Oh, and don't forget.
I just got Uncharted 4 from PS Plus.
So, you know.
So, I have 2 other games to beat before that.
Good. Well, that's it from me.
Alright. I'll talk to you guys later. This has been fun.
Yeah, always. Sometimes. Rarely.
Peace, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.